And so, the beautiful field of abundance, watched money on earth, at first being appreciated and played with, and then coming back to the higher realms, saying, what's going on? Why are these people fighting amongst each other? Shunata. And as they went through different moments of feeling like they didn't have enough of this gold, new frequencies were whirling through the multiverse. An expansion was happening. Nata, with each moment that each being had on this planet of contrast, of feeling like there wasn't enough. New possibilities were being born. The field of abundance, didn't only birth money, as gold coins, as cash, and yet at the same time, it was part of the field. In fact, the field of abundance, the mother of abundance, birthed five beautiful children of abundance. The first, as you knew and know, is beautiful money, is the frequency of what we perceive as cash. And for the most part, it is an incredible, wonderful expression of money consciousness. Raise your hand if you like cash. And so, as cash, as money continued its journey, for the most part, everyone liked it. It was received beautifully. It was like the cool kid at every party. I don't know if you remember this, but when I was in high school, there was always pretty popular kids. And, right? And, for me, there was also pretty unpopular boys. And anytime they would be around, we would all want to be around them and look at them and stop what we were doing. And Cash was in the cool club. Cash on earth was in the cool club, invited to all the big parties, all the important people, always co-creating with Cash. In fact, it got to the point where whoever knew Cash more was even more important, had even more authority in the world. And yet, as time went on, Cash got sad. Abundance, the field of loving abundance, said to Cash, why are you sad? Because it feels like no one really sees me. No one really wants me there. They just want what I can bring. I feel like the son of some rich, wealthy person who can just make things happen for people, but no one ever asks me what I want, what I like, what my favorite color is, what my favorite food is. I just get dragged here and there. And if I don't show up to a party, oh my gosh, like I never hear the end of it. I'm exhausted. Samaktiana hatanaxiai, shiatiana hatanaxiai, hutumatani, 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 shunatana atana 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 atana, hutu. I would really love it if it wasn't always on me. Sanashata itana atana atana. And the field of abundance, hutu, scent of a big wave of codes and inspirations all through the lands, and birthed a being called Father Christmas. Shataitana atana, hutuna ishanatai, Hutu, birthing whole new customs, traditions, Hutu Nashatani, gave rise to the celebration of birthdays, anniversaries, Shuktiasanata Itanaata, and another form of beautiful money frequency got to play on the planet called gift. Gift came. Super happy because as she was being birthed into physical form, people would look at her with surprised looks, with so much gratitude, with so much appreciation. Receiving her fully. Nata, ita, akta, utana, shatani hatai, hutu, nata, ita. And for a period of time, things were so much more graceful. Cash even got to relax a little bit. Gift was invited to the parties. And so it wasn't just Cash. Now there was new parties. And at Christmas time, the party of Christmas, so much of Gift was there. And so Cash and Gift would hold hands and play together, and everything was beautiful. Nashiatani hatanaksiai, siatiana hatanaksiai, and yet, futu, nata, hutu, shoo, 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 shoo. Secretly, most of the people still preferred Cash. And Gift started being sad. Well, why? Why aren't I invited to the other places? I'm only invited to the birthday parties and the Christmas parties and the anniversary parties, the thank you parties. What about all the other parties? How come they don't want me there? Nata, hutu. Why is it that when they look at me very differently than they look at Cash? They look at Cash like he's the most magnificent thing in the whole universe they just want more of. When they look at me, they're happy, they're grateful, but they're not sitting there dreaming about me the way they dream about Cash. And yet here I am. And I'm one way that their dreams can truly come true if they opened their hearts even more and let go of needing it to come through Cash. I could be there for so many other moments. I could be there all the year round. All year round, in between the birthdays and the anniversaries and the Christmas, I could just be there all the time. Sanashyatani hatanaksiai, hurutu. Yes, you could, said Abundance. Hurutu. And one time, we believe that humanity will come into a stream of consciousness where they'll open their hearts to you even more. Sanashyatani hatanaksiai. And as all of this was happening, hurutu natiyana hatanaksiai, another beautiful Shunatiyata, child of abundance, was born called Future. Shunatiyana hatanaksiai. You see, Shunata ita, people had hutumatani hatai, played with Cash, and Cash would come and they would spend Cash and live wonderfully, and then experienced situations where hutunatiata, they were old and they didn't have the energy to do what it took to make more of the Cash, and Cash would run out. Shunata, and they thought to themselves, my gosh, if there was a way that we could still access beautiful money frequency without having to work all the time. Satta, and in the background, Futu, a little Future was being born, from birth off into the world. Inspiring investments, inspiring payment plans, inspiring IOUs all over the world. Shushiatani hatanaksiai, ktiana hatanaksiai, frutu, nata, and fusing different beautiful architectures like homes with the frequency of growing in their value over time. Sunashatani hatanaksiai, hutu, offering beautiful souls a pathway, shunaktianahatai, future abundance frequency, future money, was welcoming people onto journeys to build things over time, to build beautiful, long-lasting businesses that would return in abundance over time, fusing inspiration and dreams to grow more agriculture, more beautiful infrastructure, everything that was having our current civilization have all the gifts that it has now was created with future money. Sunatiatana hatai, where many beings were co-creating with this beautiful future money element, being completely comfortable to know that the harvest will grow once the architecture had been fully built, which meant whole vegetable fields were being, like planted, trees, all sorts of fruit trees were being planted, so many farms growing all over the world, buildings, architecture, community centers, homes, so much was being built with this incredible new expansion of abundance, which was, let's create something for our future. Shanaktiana hatanaksiai, hutu. And amongst all the snooty, high society, Future got invited to all the fancy parties along with Cash. And so Future was accepted into the high society communities because, goodness, as they smoked their cigars and drank their brandy, they looked around to see who had more future. Hutumatiana hatai, abundance within them. And if you had a lot of cash and a lot of future standing next to you, well, welcome to the club. Young man or young woman, hushutai tana atana, hutuna ishanata iktiana hatanaksiai, hutu. And somehow, along these particular timelines, shushyatani hatanaksiai, hutu, nata, there was those that grew so much future, so much cash, shanaktiana hata resources, and then started to alienate more and more those that didn't acquire and hoard as much. Meanwhile, future and cash are being dragged by these other people everywhere. Shanaktiana hatanaksiai, hutu. And an architecture that future and cash never really wanted to happen. All of a sudden, division, separation. The snooty people with their cigars and their brandy, sunashyatani hatai, that hoarded, chained up future and cash, gridded out an architecture, that called souls to a huge hypnosis. And that was, if you're not like us and you don't have a lot of cash and future with you, you're not worth being in our club. Shunata ita, hurutumata itana itana, huruf, shutana hatai, hurutu, nata ita ata aktanai. And slowly but surely some of these people took on the hypnosis, took it into their field and started to believe this, started to believe that somehow being in that club was the goal. Being accepted, being successful. That club was telling everyone, this is freedom, this is abundance, this is life. Look at us. That club would show a beautiful face in the surface, tana iktana ishanata, and people honestly thought that that club was the destination, tana ishanata, that if you joined that club, you wouldn't have to worry about a single thing. Taniktiata itana atana ishanatai, and cash and future slipped away and went off on a little mission. Let's flow. Let's go back to the people. Let's remind them. Let's fuse dreams into them. And they would come into their dreams and come into their fields. Shunata, iktana, igniting little dreams, igniting little inspirations within them, calling them constantly, always calling them out of those grids to remember Shunakti Anahatai, that they could create their own. And surely, Shata, with time, the truth about that club started to seep out. Cash and future would whisper it and share it, and more people over years started to go, hold on. I don't feel love in your club. I don't feel loyalty in your club. I actually don't feel freedom in your club at all. There's no self-expression in your club. All your clothes look very uncomfortable. Namuktiana hatanaksiai. Hotu. Nata. And the smell of smoke, quite frankly, ta'ita is off-putting. Sanashiatani hatanaksiai. Fotonatiana hatanaksiai. Hotu. And slowly the architecture was breaking. And it continues to break to this day. That club has changed forms. And in our modern society, that club, Hutumashatani Hatanaksiai, Hutu, still functions in new ways, through celebrity, through people, Shunatiana Hatanaksiai, showing, like really making an effort to show off all the things and the stuff that they have, flaunting all of the luxury they have, and sharing nothing of what's going on behind the scenes, or what it even took to build such architecture and infrastructure. Nashyaktiana hatanaksiai, hutu, nata, nimatai, 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 nimatai. Hutu, shanatiatiana hatai. Another beautiful child throughout all of this was born, and that was support. Beautiful support loan money. It was I know, if they don't have enough resources, well, and they find it hard to get their hands on some, what if they could borrow it? What if they could borrow it for a moment in time? And beautiful loan, beautiful support money came through onto the planet, Shanakshiana Hatanaksiai. And at first, it was wonderful. People could borrow some money to purchase bigger things and pay them over time and be super grateful. Yet, because of that other grid architecture that was still in place, because the hypnosis was still in the field of the people, many of the people started borrowing money not for what they truly soul desired, but they started borrowing money to keep up with the cool club. And as they would borrow more and more money to keep up with the cool club, to try and also show everybody what they have, look at my house, look at my car, gathering in their social circles, building mirages behind them, Naktiana Hatai, beautiful loan, beautiful support money, who literally came to be of the highest abundant service, got blamed. Hutomatiana Hatanaksiai. Debt is bad. Anyone who has it sucks and is failing at life. And little loan, little support goes, what? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I just, Nashumatiana Hatanaksiai, Siatiana Hatanaksiai, Futu. And as all this was happening, the field of abundance knew that in order for humanity to fully experience everything that's available on this planet. Shanaktiana Hatanaksiai, Hotonai, Hotonai. Another form of beautiful Hotomashatani Hatai, money needed to come through. Natui Shanatai, Shanatai. And freedom money was born. This time, Hotomashatani Hatai. Freedom money did not exist in physical form. Freedom money was birthed as a song, as an echo, as a remembrance, as an awakening. Hutunatiana hatai, hutu, calling souls out of all their hypnosises to fully unplug out of all the previous grids, to plug into their heart, into their womb, into source, into the core abundance of Gaia. Freedom money came, Hushumatiana hatai, offering the full ascension journey to the embodiment of being a creator and being able to co-create with all forms of money in ease and grace and flow, reminding souls that there was no difference between receiving alone or building a beautiful little nest egg that can be opened up in future timelines, or receiving all the gifts and all the presents, or receiving cash. Freedom. Hutomashata itana atana 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 itana atana. Futu. Sang songs and called more and more souls into the higher aspect of all of these beautiful children. Sanatyata of abundance. Hutu. Na shanatai. Hutu. And reminded each soul, when you can receive us all with a pure heart, you will become us. You will become the embodiment of full abundance, and everything you ever require will always show up. Whatever you desire will be there. Shunaktiana hatanaksiai. Let go of your attachment, beautiful souls. Hatiasana tai. Hotu. Nata. Ita. See us all as part of you. Samushuti tana atana 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 atana. Hotu na ishana tai. Fotu. Nata. Iktana 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 iktana. Hotu. Namashanatai, Futu, Naniktanai, Hutu, Namato ai, Fu, Shu, 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 Hu, Shu, 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 Satu na ina atanai, Futu. And freedom came offering all souls a path of remembrance. Sunashatani hatai. Freedom now invites you, beautiful ones, Hutomatiana hatanaksiai, to receive Nashyatani hatanaksiai, Natiana hatanaksiai, Tunati itanai, a greater embodiment, a greater remembrance, Sunaktiana hatanaksiai, Futu. And so, Sati, Na, we now invite you on a journey, Natu itana, 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 where all of these beautiful expressions of abundance wish to hatunaktiana hatanaksiai, hutu, shuf, reconnect a network architecture within your consciousness, hutunatiana hatai, for you to fully let go of subconscious, any leftover residues within your field that could potentially still be co-creating with that old grid imprint. Nashatani hatanaksiai, hutu, consciously and unconsciously. And through this work, with your graceful excitement and permission, Shunatiana hatai, we offer to go deep within the ancestral lines, to work through your blood, to do alchemy alchemy and upgrades within the blood and recode the ancestral field, sharing more of the codes of freedom money with all consciousness streams within your lineage and future. Please give me a love heart if this resonates. And you feel receptive to take a journey with these beautiful 5 frequencies in their purest form. You are first invited to feel what would be available even more if you were to expand your heart beyond where it is now and truly enter a field where all of these are divine and appreciated in all their forms completely, and that you were to fully accept that sometimes when it comes to our co-creations, there are seasons. And what if there are times where there's a season for future, where you are building and creating and cultivating more future abundance. And there are seasons where there's more cash flowing through, like a beautiful autumn wind blowing leaves everywhere. And there are seasons where there are gifts coming from all angles that you look. And there are seasons where you borrow some sugar from your neighbor, some flour from your neighbor to make that cake. And with gratitude, you feel like, yes, I'm so grateful the neighbor had the sugar and the flour because it's Christmas and all the shops are closed. And I wouldn't be able to make the cake right now if my neighbor didn't have that to give me. If we were to look at lending money the same way as we look at borrowing some sugar, some flour from our neighbor, most of us don't eat sugar and wheat, but we were to borrow a carrot and a tomato from our neighbor, Sanata. Imagine, if it was that simple. Wouldn't it be silly to look at people being like, oh my God, I borrowed way too many carrots from friggin' George last week. I feel terrible about myself. I really need to return those carrots. I've returned 3, got 2 more to, I'll feel better once I've returned all the carrots. I can't, you know what, just it feels like a heavy burden on me. It's so heavy, all these carrots. It's kind of curious, you know, if your friend said that about carrots, what would be your perspective? Would you tilt your head a little bit? Like, I often tilt my head when things are confusing because I wonder if I'll be able to understand them from this side. Who here does that? You kind of like, you tilt. And it's because, yeah, it's because it doesn't make sense in this vantage point. So let me just see if I can. There are seasons. And what a blessing when all these friends are there at any time that we could possibly require them, and to fully receive them. To be like, thanks, George, for all those carrots. Really appreciate it. That was awesome. That was exactly the same as having cash show up. Because do you know what? On Christmas Day, when all the shops are closed, cash means poo on a stick. Can't get you anywhere. Have you noticed that? Unless in your country, it's here, they shut everything. And if you don't plan ahead, and George doesn't have the carrots, there's no carrots for you. Namo Shatyana Hatanaxiai. Hotu. Natana itana atana atana atana. Hotu. Nashanata ishanata ektiana Hatanaxiai. Foto.